Vande Simphumumapatim Suragurum Vande Jagatkaranam Vande Pannagabhushanam Sishidharam Vande Vasunam Patim Vande Surya Shashankavannilayanam Vande Mukunda Priyam Vande Bhaktajana Ashrayam Chavaradam Vande Bhaktajana Ashrayam Chavaradam Vande Shivam Shankaram. Friends, on this auspicious occasion of the Kalpataru day, may the Almighty shower the choicest blessings on all of us. On this great Kalpataru day, as a special case, we shall open the front doors and get those people waiting outside also. It is only for today. Please open the door. Friends, one day, Narada Maharshi went to Lord Vishnu. And Vishnu was in his usual reclining posture of Yoga Nidra. Narada raised a question. Vishnuji, in Bhuloka, in Kali Yuga, people have desire after desire after desire after desire, endless desires. They want health, they want wealth, they want to be fearless, they want to be great. Who is that great person that can fulfill the desires of all the people? At whose feet should the people fall? Is there any qualification to deserve somebody's namaskar? Is there any qualification for somebody to fulfill the desires of others? Then Vishnuji says, yes, certainly. Number one, you should not fall at the feet of everybody. The person whose feet you touch must have certain qualification. And what is that qualification? In science you have the principle, heat lost is heat gained. If you put hot water in a vessel of cold water, the hot water loses its heat and the cold water becomes hot. Similarly, ego is present. When the man who falls at the feet loses egoism, that egoism shoots up in the person who receives the namaskar. Therefore, you must be very careful. Na, ma, iti, dve, akshare. It's an abbreviation. Na, mamakara, na, ahankara. I want to lose my egoism. I want to lose my attachments. Therefore, I fall at your feet. No doubt the person who falls at the feet will lose the ahankara to some extent. But whatever is lost will be gained here. My eyes go up. When one person falls at my feet, I look at the second person, you also fall. This is the fate of the ordinary people. Apuryamanam in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna describes the samudra, the ocean, the sea does not increase in its size, in its quantity, whatever may be the number of waters, rivers coming and joining with the sea. Ganga comes, Yamuna comes, Kaveri comes, Godavari comes, all these rivers go and merge with the ocean, ocean remains the same, it does not increase. Such should be the fullness of the person who does not get elated when people fall at his feet or her feet. The first qualification therefore is the person whose feet we touch should not be egoistic, should not have that ahankara, should be full like the samudra. This is the first qualification. 2. You asked me, who is capable of fulfilling the desires of all the people? He or she who has no desires can fulfill the desires of others. I have myself 100 desires. I want to be rich. I want to live long. I want to be happy. I want you all to pay me money. And such a person, what desires can he fulfill? A desireless person can fulfill the desires of others. A person who is beyond want can fulfill the wants of everybody, whatever may be the desire. So, you have to fall at the feet of a person who is full without egoism, we can fall at the feet of a person who is above want, who does not have desires. These are the two requirements. Then the third question will be, is there anybody like that? I do not know about the present age. I can give you the list. Narada says. Sri Ramachandra Prabhu, what a wonderful personality. He had a fight with his brother Bharata. He went to the Supreme Court to not to get a kingdom, not to own the kingdom. Bharata and Rama had a fight. Rama says, no, I don't want the kingdom. Bharata says, I too don't want the kingdom. Lakshmana, how about you? I don't want. Finally, they went to Shatrugna. Rama does not want, Bharata does not want, Lakshmana does not want. You are considering me to be a fool to ask for it. I too don't want. See, the brothers, 4 in number, they have fought and they have gone to the ultimate court, Supreme Court. What for? Not to own the property. I don't want it. Vasishtha Maharshi was really puzzled. He was surprised when Rama puts forth his argument, why I don't want the kingdom. He says, he is right. Bharata puts forth his argument, I too don't want the kingdom. The first 2 people born on earth to say, I don't want, I don't want, I don't want. That is the culture of this land. Therefore, Sri Rama is a yogi. Yogis seek nothing. Yogis have no desire. Yogis are above want. Yogis are fearless. Therefore, Abhaya they can give. In the entire Upanishadic literature, one word is repeatedly given, and that is Abhi, be fearless. It's only a Jnani who is fearless. It's only a Mahatapasvi who is fearless. It's only a great Mahapurusha like Sri Ram who is fearless. Nirbhayatvam. If I am myself frightened, how can I drive away the fear in others? A fearless person can remove the fears of others. A desireless person can fulfill the desires of others. He who is of no want can fulfill the wants of everybody. And Sri Ramachandra Prabhu is a yogi. He has transcended all the want. He has no desire. He has no fear. And we find the typical example, I do not want, I do not want, I do not want. And come to Dwapara Yuga. You do not find Krishna as a king anywhere. He is only a kingmaker. After killing Kamsa, who could stop him if he took the reins into his hands? If he took the crown and placed it on his head? Kamsa was Madhura Nagaradhipati. He came, he killed him not for his benefit, not for his personal gratification of the desires. It is for the benefit of others that Sri Krishna has killed Kamsa. And that Krishna has not become the king of Mathura. He went to Dwaraka. There also he is not the king. He fought on the side of the Pandavas. He did not ask for the crown. On the other hand, it was offered to him. Hundreds of times Pandavas asked him, please accept the crown. No, I don't want. Everywhere, throughout the Mahabharata and in the entire Bhagavata, you find Krishna as a person who has no fear, who has no desire, who has no ahankara. He is absolutely free from egoism. And therefore, Krishna is supposed to be Yogishwara. Treta Yuga Rama, a man who has transcended the want. In Dwapara Yuga, you find Sri Krishna who has gone beyond all wants. And he too did not accept the crown. He was always a kingmaker. He was never a king anywhere. In Kali Yuga, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, in his early 80s, not in his 80s, during 1980s, there was an occasion. In Dakshineshwar, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa became already popular as a great personality. Many pilgrims were coming and falling at his feet. Dakshineshwar became a pilgrim center. He was a man without any ownership. He was a man without any ahankara. He was a man without any desire. And all the people were falling at his feet. One day, one gentleman came. He brought a packet of currency notes in 1983 or 84. 1883 or 84. He brought the currency notes. The total value of the currency packet was 10,000 rupees. 10,000 rupees would be nothing today. In 1955, my father gave me only 1 rupee in 1955. I was a boy. He asked me to go to the hotel, bring tiffin for the members of the family. I went to the hotel and I carried 2 huge buckets and a big basin. The hotel wala gave for 1 rupee 36 idli, 36. And 1 bucket full of sambar, another bucket full of chutney. The entire family, the size of the idli was very large. In 1955, I was able to buy 36 idli for 1 rupee. 100 years earlier, during Ramakrishna's time, perhaps for 1 naya paisa, he was able to get 50 idli. During those days, Sri Ramakrishna was given 10,000 rupees. If anybody gives me 1 crore, I will not look at the person, I will be looking at the cash only. I am tempted by money. I am lured by it. Sri Ramakrishna said, I don't want it. Please accept, nothing doing I don't want. And Sri Ramakrishna said, on the way you find Holy Mother Sri Sharada Devi. If you want, you can give it to her. They went to her. Guru Maharaj said he did not want the money. He asked me to give it to you if you want. He placed that currency bundle. Holy Mother Sri Sharada Devi said, I don't want. Can you ever imagine a character refusing to receive money? Sri Ramakrishna said, no, I don't want it. Sharada Devi said, with equally vehemence,